I got an interesting one in terms of guests arriving on the property
Ooh.
and what that could look like. So this kind of idea was something that I came up with when I was looking to launch a really kind of luxury experience. I wouldn't say, well, the tagline was luxury not for what you get, but for what you don't get. And it was for a property 90 minutes north of San Francisco, about 10 minutes from the coast, on a 400-acre farm on this like beautiful ridge line. And the interesting thing about the property is, and like you can never really craft your guest experience until you have the property. And so at this particular one, the parking lot was down at kind of like ground level, and then you'd travel way up, and you could either hike it or like get a ride up, but the road didn't go up there. And then there's this beautiful ridge line where you could see unabridged to the coastline, and you wouldn't even see any lights for this whole view that was probably like 10 to 20 miles. And it was just a really special place. And the guest experience that I came up with that I sadly never got to test, so this is all theoretical. But the target market was, Silicon Valley executives who are super stressed, way too connected to their technology, and really wanting a unique experience and getting out into nature. And so the concept that I came up with was like upon arrival at check-in, the guests would have the opportunity to check in their phones into a phone box, kind of like Getaway. Getaway does this at their units. But I kind of wanted to take it one step further, where if guests did check in their phone and left it there for the whole weekend, you'd either like give them a discount on their stay or give them an extra amenity like a drink or a dinner, or maybe it's a discount on their next stay or something like that. But something that takes away from you as the owner so that they can get a better experience, and just kind of like showing that you as the ownership are really wanting them to like be immersed and have a reset. And then they check that in, and then they basically have a forest bath slash hike slash pilgrimage, or like a cleansing walk up the hill. It's not exactly an easy walk. It's probably like 10 minutes and maybe like, I don't know, a couple hundred feet of elevation gain, up through, fully immersed in the forest, up to the ridgeline. And then you arrive at your tent. And while you were doing that, someone with an ATV or whatever like drove your bag to your unit, so it's there when you get there. But just the idea of like, you've never checked into a stay this way, and like really letting the nature do the heavy lifting for what your experience is. And then you get up and you have this beautiful unit with this beautiful view, and there's a very like lack of luxury, but you're getting the sounds of the birds and the winds, and you're not seeing any development, and all of those things are so rare, particularly in this location, like near San Francisco, to have like that type of serenity. But that was one of my ideas.
You really need to open your own site, man.
I know.
Man, what are you
right?
doing? Why do you keep consulting? God.
At least
Stop advising.
do you guys
and do something already, Connor. Jeez.
Well, I'd be curious to the guy who's actually, in operations, what your thoughts would be on that, and if you thought it was a good idea or crazy, like ridiculously.
No, I'm always into like just trust me, right? Like I really like I'm into that start to an experience, right? And I think that's kind of what you're speaking of. It's just like I'm gonna take this, like trust me, and then do you see like that tree with the Y in it? Go left, right? But if you're feeling very daring, go right. And then so it's just then that's when you add those little activations on that trail, so it's just like taking it up a little, like one level. But I'm always a proponent of like, I wish people had no plans, right? And just like, I am yours for 4 hours. And then it's just like, that's where things get really intimate and creative and cool and special. But I think anytime where you're attempting to earn the guest trust, like in that scenario where they put the phone in the box and then you just like send them down this dark path, like for me, that's like clicking into the flow state. So I'm into that. Like I'm always into the just come to this place at this time and we will take care of the rest.